Hey, we're live, guys. We're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is Baldypal Picking. How are you doing today?
I'm great, buddy. How are you, man? Appreciate you
Good.
letting me join on you.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us today. Go ahead and introduce yourself. So you were formerly Two Dudes Picking, so
Yep.
people think you look familiar, and they're like, hey, I know this Baldypal guy from somewhere. Go ahead and
I hope
introduce
you
yourself.
do.
Tell everybody where you're from, and what you do. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely right. Formerly Two Dudes Picking, my buddy Gary and I. He got his own channel. He's doing Jeeps and reselling, and I'm just doing reselling. And my name's Adam. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I go by Body Pal all over the internet. So if you just literally were to type in Google search Body Pal, one word, anything that came up would be me, to be honest with you. And been reselling for 7 years. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on eBay. I'm on Mercari. I'm not on Posh very much, but
Yeah.
I'm testing those waters. I'm having a good time though. Had a real. I was just telling you earlier that I wasn't having a very good sales this weekend, but then you reached out to me and we started chatting it up. And my eBay sales started to skyrocket right after that. So you're like my lucky charm.
All right. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad you're making some sales on eBay. And Adam has a full-time job he works, and he does reselling part-time. But one of
Yep.
the reasons why I wanted to reach out to Adam is that he's been hustling. You've actually worked and helped to get some money together to pay off debt, and you're able to take some money to take your family on vacation, and you're able to do some things because you have this extra income coming in through reselling as opposed to just depending on your 9 to 5 job. So you want to talk a little bit about that? You just got back from vacation with you and your family recently, didn't you?
Sure did. Sure did. The my daughter was a cheerleader, still is, but she had a national competition in Disney World, and we were able to pay huge part of that out of the reseller fund, what I call the eBay funds. And so we got that was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And that was a huge, I mean, Disney ain't cheap, man. Disney ain't cheap at all. And it was so much fun. We had a good time. Um, Making the extra money doing reselling has really taken the burden of dipping into my savings off of my shoulders. And so if we wanted to do the Disney trip out of the blue, then we could because I've been doing so well with eBay. And yeah, I work a regular 8 to 5 with COVID going on. I'm one of the lucky ones who still gets to go into the office every day because part of my job is to make sure that everybody else has hardware to do their job from home, right?
Yeah.
Which is actually why we're not Two Dudes Picking anymore. Gary and I used to go picking on our lunch break together all the time. But when COVID hit and his job sent him home, he's a lot further away from me now, and we hardly ever get to see each other in person and pick together. So we decided to split it up, do our own thing, but we're still great friends, right? So Body Pal Picking is how it came to be, but I'm still doing the same thing as far as picking on my lunch break, reselling part time. I list at night and on the weekends, and I package things up. All my sales I package up in the evening and into the night, and get everything sent to the post office or UPS or whatever the case may be. I take it there myself every day on my lunch break, and then go hop into Goodwill or Valley Rescue or thrift stores. And I mean, I've been experimenting in different things too, like the yard sales on the weekends. It's been
Yeah.
huge. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to source because people don't know what they have. So I pick up things from there too. But it's been doing really well. Consistently, I'm not going to say back to back to back, but consistently making over $100 a day net profit is good for me, considering that really adds up fast. And
Well,
that's minimum. Like that's like below my average. It's just I'm happy with 100. If I make 100, I'm happy, but my average is way above. So I'm having a good time.
yeah, if you guys hear what he's saying, let's say if he averages $100 a day times 30 days in a month, that's an extra $3,000 a month. Now, if you
Mhm.
multiply that by, let's say, 12 months in a year, that's $36,000 a year or close to it. So,
Mhm.
when you can make an extra $35 to $40,000 a year, working part time from home, and then have that extra money to take your family on trips to Disney World. You're talking about you're going to be going to another trip soon with the resellers rally as well, and I'm sure eBay
Yep.
is going to pitch in and help pay for that. So, do you want to talk a little bit about the reseller rally? And because do they still have tickets available, or is it sold out?
I'm pretty sure the tickets are all sold out because there was a waiting list for a very long time. In fact, I was on the waiting list, and it's reseller rallies put on by Cincinnati Picker, and I think Lonnie from Shed Flips, but it's going to be in Kentucky on the Ohio River. It's just a dinner. Basically, a dinner reunion party out on a riverboat. Never been there before. I don't know exactly what to expect, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping to just meet a lot of cool faces that I've seen on YouTube or I've communicated with through Instagram, and just meeting them in person. I'm a people person and I like face-to-face interaction a lot more. And I'm just really looking forward to that. And you're right. The trip is going to be paid for with my eBay funds. I'm driving up there. I'm going to make a trip through Atlanta and then Chattanooga, then Lexington, all the way up to Cincinnati. And going to make a big thrifting trip out of it. If you know what I mean, just empty out the bed of my truck and the back seat of my truck and fill it up on the way up there.
Yeah, well, you know what you should do? Since you have a YouTube channel, you should flag down some of those people. There's going to be some reseller celebrities is going to be there while you're there. We got Cincinnati Picker is supposed to be there. Lonnie from Shed Flips with Craigslist Hunter. There's going to be a bunch of people there, so you should flag them down while you're up there hanging out. Say, hey, man, give me 10 minutes of your time and shoot a video with them. That's what you should do.
Oh, I absolutely plan to. I'll have GoPros, lots of extra batteries.
All right. That'd be awesome, man. Hopefully we'll have a great time. Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. We have Wendy is here in the chat. She says, hey, Jeff and Adam and friends. I wanted to say hey to Death Pile Destroyers. Hey, man, I checked out your YouTube channel and I subscribed. So keep hustling and keep doing your thing. And I wanted to say hello to the Bargain Effect. Says hello, happy Sunday. Hey, hello. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us. If you have questions for our guests, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So we were just talking about he was able to make money working part-time from home reselling. And he just, he paid for his vacation for him and his family to Disney World. Then in a couple of weeks, you're going to be heading up to this reseller rally. And can you talk a little bit about how you were able to take some of this extra money and pay to help get yourself out of debt? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in a similar situation where they're like, hey, I'm working my 9-to-5 job, but all the extra money that I'm making from working my job just goes to pay the bills. I don't have a lot of extra money to pay off credit card debt or pay off a car loan or whatever it is that they want to do. Can you talk a little bit about that if you don't mind?
No, I don't mind. I'm happy to say that the only real debt that I have are car payments and mortgage payments. And to your point, though, I put an extra car payment every month out of my eBay sales. So I'm gonna pay it off twice as fast as I normally would have. And those are what can really eat you up. Because if you pay it, let's say you got a 4-year loan and you go through the whole 4 years, where you're going to pay a lot more than that initial amount because of interest and stuff like that. But if you can make double payments because you're making the extra money off of eBay and make double payments, you're going to cut a lot of that interest out of it, and you won't be paying as much as you would have over the full 4 years. So I'll be paying off my truck at least a year early, if not sooner than that. I don't remember the exact math. But yeah, that's as far as the debt's concerned, that's really what I'm using the eBay to pay off. But I'm happy to say that the Disney trip's been paid for already. There's no debt there. And I keep my credit cards clean. If I use them, I pay them off that month immediately. So honestly, I think that's something you should all strive to do. If you're not at the point where you can do it today, you definitely need to, because the snowball of the credit card debt and interest can really hurt you. You can't pay minimum payments and expect to get rid of that credit card debt and keep using it. It's not going to work out that way. The banks won't tell you that. The credit card companies won't tell you that. But you get rid of that, and it's just easy riding from that point forward if you just pay it off on a monthly basis every time you have to use it. There's emergencies, right? Yeah. You blew a tire on your car and you got to buy a new tire. That's an emergency situation, right? Nobody really plans to save to pay for something like that, but you can put that on your credit card. But if you do it right, you just pay that off at the end of the month and you're good to go. You're not paying more than just that tire and the mechanic to pay it, because the credit card charges 23% on every month. So.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to say hello to the Flipping Accountant just stopped by. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming by. He says, hey, Adam, Jeff, Wendy in the chat. Thanks for coming by. He says he loves your Stormtrooper shirt you have on today. So we were just talking with Adam. He was talking about his journey of how he's able to use his extra money from reselling to pay to take his family on vacation and use some of this extra money to get out of debt. So while we have you here on the channel, I'll kind of talk about your your backstory, your origin story of how you got into reselling, you know, on eBay, like, because you were working a regular 9 to 5 job, and so it's kind of talk about what first got your attention and how you got started on reselling and how it's been for you.
My buddy Gary, who really good friends, best friends, in fact, we would go out to lunch every day. And one day he said, "Hey, do you mind if we stop at Goodwill?" And it just caught me by surprise. I was like, "Why do you want to stop at Goodwill?" And he said, "Okay, come on, let's stop at Goodwill and I'll show you why I want to stop at Goodwill." And basically he just showed me how he would just sort through the clothing racks or the shoe racks, find something of a major brand name that they only want $4 for, still clean, no holes, you know, take it home, maybe wash it, hang it, take pictures, put it on eBay for $20, $25. And it's just that easy. It really is just that easy. You can avoid all the ones that have major problems and just pick up the ones that have no problems whatsoever. And you make an extra $15, $20 per shirt. And that's how he got me hooked on it. Men's clothing is what I got started with because it was easy. When you have an hour tops, maybe 45 minutes to an hour to get as much as you can out of that Goodwill clothes, you just do this number through the clothes, you know, and you're just sorting through it, looking for those brand name tags to catch your eye. Right. And that's a lot easier than it is going through electronics that may be broken, that you got to fix and repair. But I've come a long way from men's clothing. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to liquidate all the men's clothing I've got still in stock. I've got about 150 pieces of clothing. No, I don't have that much anymore. I probably got about 130 pieces of clothing. I'm trying to liquidate off. If anybody is interested, hit me up on IG. I'll sell it to you for a really good price. All brand names. But I moved over to like electronics, video games. I'm dabbing in plush because Cajun Resellers got me interested in that. Yeah. And so electronics are really what's starting to hit it hard for me because you spend more up front, but you get a bigger payout. When you buy a VCR for $10, but it sells for $45, $50, that's a much bigger payout than $4 for a shirt and $20 when you sell it. So, and those move much, much faster. Electronics move quickly. So that's what I'm focusing on now. So as far as an origin story is concerned, I mean, I just started on my lunch break about 7 years ago, and it took off really, really slow because I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was putting too many things from the mall. You know, you see brands in the mall like Tommy Hilfiger or Polo Ralph Lauren or things like that, Eddie Bauer, Abercrombie and Finch. Those are what I call mall brands. I wasn't making any money on those. They weren't selling. There's too many in the market. So you had to learn that you got to find those diamonds in the rough, not just the same thing everybody's got millions of already.
Yeah, well, I like it because you said that your friend, you and Gary were just hanging out in your lunch break, and he's like, "Hey, let's go hit up this Goodwill here on our lunch break." And ever since then, you've been hooked ever since, been killing it ever since. Because you know, there's a lot of people that's maybe in a similar situation. Maybe they have a 9 to 5 job, they work Monday through Friday, and they have limited time, and they need to make extra money, and it's difficult for them to do that. For like example, if they were going to get a part-time job with the weekends, then they would have to find a babysitter to watch their kids so they could go work another job. But if you're able to go and say maybe go thrifting on your lunch break Monday through Friday, and then maybe list and pack and ship on the weekends, you're able to still spend time with your family and still able to kind of set your own hours and work from home to make extra money. So
it is so much easier than having to follow somebody else's time schedule as a second job.
Yeah, and also you're going to spend more time with your family. Like I texted you yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you're like, "Hey, I'm just out here lounging at the pool with my family." And if you were working a regular job, let's say if you were working at, you know, McDonald's, or you're doing some other part-time job on the side, they would say you had to be clocked in at 5 and you go home at, you know, from 9 to 5 or something, and you would be locked into that schedule. And then on top of that, whatever extra money you did make, you'd be spending it in gas and paying for daycare or childcare to watch your kid while you're at work. So to me, it's like a win-win. You can spend time with your family and you can make money on top of that. So let's say hello to a few people. We have the Garbage Monster is in the house. We have Donna Diamonds is here. So it's hello all. I wanted to say hey to the Death Pile Destroyers is in the house. We have the Dumpster Diver Dad is here. Says hey, Jeff and Adam. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. And we have the Thrifty Junker is here. I think I saw you the other day. You were on with Cajun Roots Reseller. So I think I caught your replay of the morning show. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. And I wanted to say hey to Matt Resell stopped by. He says, "What's up, fellas?" So So, Baldypal, can you talk a little bit about your YouTube channel? What got you started on your YouTube channel, and tell people when they come by and check it out what they'll find on your channel. Do you do a lot of like what sold videos? You sourcing? Talk a little bit about your YouTube channel and why you started it and how it's been going for you.
I started YouTube, funny enough, because I didn't have people around me that enjoyed the stories I could tell when I found the treasures in the store, right? So I had to find that community, and I found it on, hey, Drew, what's up, Profit Monster? I found the community here on YouTube, right? And honestly, I enjoy telling the stories. I enjoy sharing the treasures that I find at Goodwill. So I have videos about shipping. I have videos about hauls, what's sold. I do yard sale videos. I wouldn't call them vlogs because I don't have a life as a reseller because I'm at a 8 to 5 for 8 hours of the day for the most part. But I do carry the GoPro with me in my truck so that whenever I have an opportunity, I just grab it and I walk into Goodwill and I record. And if I have a Facebook Marketplace pickup, I'll record it if I can. Lots of times I don't like to be recorded, but I'll tell them about it on the video. And here recently, I've just started just grabbing the camera and just recording, and then just putting it all together 2 or 3 days at a time of the haul, the what sold, the interactions, lessons I've learned, questions I may get on comments either on Instagram or on the YouTube channel. And honestly, what I'm starting to do now is I'm just trying to put all those together, just tape them all together in one 15-minute video and then just post it at least 2 times a week is what I'm going for. I also have a Wednesday night show. Right now it's called the Resellers Not So Late Show, but I'm going to rename it this summer, and it's going to be called just Baldypal Live or Live with Baldypal. And I want to learn from so many different resellers out there. I'm getting guests that have something that's a bit different. I'm not going to call it unusual. It's just different. Like there's one guy in the chat. I'm not going to call him out, but there's a guy in the chat that does something that is just so very unusual to me that I asked him to be a guest on the show, and he will be in June. But I just can't. I want to learn from people. If I want to learn about something new, the best way to learn it is to go to somebody who's doing well at it. Right? Find out what it is that they're doing good to be successful at it. And then I want to interview them and pick their brain and learn from them. And that's what I'm going to turn my show into this summer.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm a subscriber of your channel, and whenever I get some downtime, I come by and check it out. You had, I wanted to say hey to Drew from Profit Monsters is in the chat. You had him on your show a couple of weeks ago, and you guys have games, and you're asking him questions, and you had Joey Bada Bing dropped in the middle of your live stream. So that was a surprise. That was fun. So if you guys get a chance, Baldypal Picking, his YouTube and Instagram, all his links are down below in the description below if you want to go by and check him out. You guys do a lot of fun games and a lot of interactions and stuff on your channel, and it's really fun and entertaining. So if you guys get a chance, you check it out.
I try to do something new. I mean, the games I want to do like reseller oriented and eBay related, but it's very difficult to come up with those type of games. So honestly, if I can't come up with a brand new one, I'll just do like a trivia game or something like that. But I always try to have some type of game in every show so that people can play along and the guests have a good time. When I start bringing on some couples that resell together, I've come up with a fun game specifically for couples who are going to be my guests. So y'all don't want to miss it because I try to have a lot of fun with that stuff, and I hope y'all enjoy it too.
Yeah, for sure. So, Adam, I wanted to ask you a few questions. Could you talk to me a little bit about how you go about like scheduling and balancing your time? Because that may be a difficult portion for you because you work your regular, 8 to 5 job, and you also have a family as well that you have, your wife and your kids and your family. So you have to balance time, spending time with them. But then you also have to, pack and ship and list items and pull orders. So can you talk a little bit about how your scheduling works for you? Because I'm sure there may be a lot of people in a similar situation that maybe they are still working their 9 to 5 job. They have a family. They're trying to figure out a way to balance the two between spending time with their family and doing family activities, but then also still running your resale business. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, my priority goes God, family, work, eBay, then YouTube. And it's because I think that if that's the order, to me personally, that's the order you should just prioritize those type of things. Family is right below God. And so if eBay got really hot and heavy and I accidentally let it take over family or anything like that, then it's got to slow down. And that's what happens is I just quit listing, and that effectively slows it down. YouTube is the least important. I love it. I enjoy it. I seriously do. But if I have to put more attention on any of those others, it's YouTube that gets least for me. So if you can prioritize your priorities, sorry, if you can prioritize them all, then you'll understand that, you can't honestly balance it 100%, because sometimes you've got to put more focus on other things. My work, for example, we've got 2 major projects going on right now, and I've been working overtime, and I don't get paid overtime, but I had to work overtime in order to accomplish those projects and to stay on the timeline. So effectively, that's going to get in the way of my kids' extracurricular activities. So that's family. So I don't want family to be hurt. So I make eBay or YouTube get less priority. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I try to prioritize it. If for any reason whatsoever I see that my family or God isn't getting any attention whatsoever, I swap it and I say I put eBay and YouTube on the back burner and just change gears. I don't necessarily think that everybody could do that, because eBay is their full-time job, so their priorities are going to be a little bit different. YouTube may be their full-time job. Again, their priorities may be a little bit different. But for me, that's my order of priorities. And I make sure that the attention happens in that order too.
Okay, awesome. Now, so does your wife, does she support your reselling, or is she just like, get this junk out of the house? Do you have like a shed or a garage? Do you store all your items, or how does that work? I'm just curious.
Still yet to be seen. She supports me, yes. And in fact, she was in the garage with me just this past Friday, helping me organize everything, because as you can see here, I'm in the guest bedroom and everything used to be in this bedroom, but I moved it all out to the garage because we needed to get the bedroom back for family or friends that wanted to come over and stay the night. So I moved it all out to the garage. It's hotter working out there, and things start to clutter up, but she was out there with me getting sweaty too, and just helping me organize it, she is actually a better organizer than I am. So as long as I understand what she's doing, I'll let her tell me, yeah, put them on this shelf, tag it this way, tag it that way, whatever. It works. But yeah, she's full on board. In fact, when I bought a ticket for the reseller rally, I put my name on the list for 2 people, and even though she probably won't have as best a time as I will, she's still going with me. So she's going to go to the rally with me. She's going to make the trip with me. She's going to be in all of those videos with me. So I would say she supports me 100%. She's behind me.
All right. Awesome. Now, if somebody is getting started, or maybe they already have a full-time job and they want to do reselling on the side, what would be like maybe 2 or 3 tips or piece of advice that you would have for them if they're like, hey, because I've been there before. I was working a factory job. And I would work from 4 p.m. at night till 4:30 in the morning. And I still had to find time maybe on my lunch break to ship out packages or list or whatever. So talk a little bit about that. If you're in that situation and you have a full-time job, can you give us 2 or 3 tips that would help somebody if they're in this similar situation?
Yeah, there's this lady I work with at the office, and she's seen me be successful in reselling, and Gary successful in reselling as well. And so she approached me earlier this year, and she was like, can you share with me? Can you teach me? And so I'll just go with what I shared with her. One of the first things I told her was, you can't buy, starting out, you can't buy everything on the shelf that has potential value. You can't. You'll go in debt. You'll have such a backlog that you won't get listed, that will just sit there and collect dust. Focus yourself. Focus on 1, maybe 2 categories to get started, to get your income and your revenue cycling through, and then you can start to expand. But don't just go to the Goodwill store, find something, look it up, see it has value, and then put it in your cart, because a $5 value when you're first starting out isn't as good as a $10 or $15 value or $1. You know what I'm saying? So if you find that category that you're really, really good at, stick to that category, learn that category inside and out, every part of it, become an expert in it, if you will, and then start to expand. Because I've talked to resellers in the stores, and they said that one of the biggest mistakes they said they made was starting off was they just bought everything that looked like it was selling on eBay, and it's just still sitting on their shelves at home. So they ended up putting themselves in more debt while they were trying to get out of debt, if that makes sense. So other things I would say, if I didn't say it already, is find the category, find your niche, become an expert at it. And then thirdly is don't let your death pile build up so much that you're just completely overwhelmed by it. I know people who will come home and list immediately. I know Profit Monsters is really good about that, and I actually envy him for that. He'll go out sourcing, come home, clean it, list it the next day, and that way he just keeps it going and cycling, and no piles stop up. I think that's great that he can do that. I honestly, I have to admit, I can't do that because I got to put things off so that I can sleep at night. And so if you let your death pile grow too big, you're going to become overwhelmed. And if you look at the potential value in your death pile but still don't do anything about it, you're just wasting time and money at that point. So pause, it's okay to put your sourcing on pause so that you can catch up.
Yeah,
that's another tip I would share is it's okay to put your sourcing on pause long enough to catch up so that your death pile doesn't get so overwhelming that it drives you nuts or makes you crazy.
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest issues is that people have when they're first getting started is just they don't take that capital and reinvest it back in their business. So they'll be like, hey, they'll say, hey, I bought these pair of shoes for $20 and sold them for $80 or $100 or something, right? Then they take that money back out of their eBay fund and then go spend it on something else, instead of taking that capital and reinvest it back into your business. Like if, I look at eBay as it's going to be something that you're going to be in for the long haul. It's not something where it's not like you're doing DoorDash or Uber Eats or something like, or Postmates where you're like, hey, I did a delivery, I made $25 or whatever, and I'm in and I'm out. Like you have to look at it as more of a long-term play where you're going to reinvest your capital and grow and scale your business over time. So do you have any plans? What are some of your plans that you have for a future for your YouTube channel and your eBay store in the future? Like for the rest of this year and maybe the next year or two, what are some of the plans that you have coming up in the future you can tell us about?
Well, I got goals. The goals I have this year for eBay is I want to my gross profit. I want to hit over $50,000 gross profit. And that's easier to keep up with than net profit because you really don't know how taxes are going to come into play and whatnot. But honestly, so my goal is gross profit $50,000. And then on YouTube, of course, everybody wants to grow on YouTube. Everybody has a goal of getting monetized. And honestly, that would be great and wonderful. Truthfully, it would. What my goal is to organically grow. I want to put stuff out there that people learn from. They find entertaining, and I want them to subscribe because they enjoy what they see. And tell me in my comments if there was something that was just crap, boring. I don't ever want to see it again because I can always change. I'm flexible like that. I've actually got a video planned. It's been a long time coming. I've talked about it before, but I got a video planned that I think people would really enjoy. It's just a matter of taking the time to film it and record it. But it's what you can do with all your bad buys from Goodwill and things that you can have fun with them. So y'all, I'll just stop it right there as a little teaser. So look forward to that in the coming months.
Okay, cool. Let me say hello to a few people in the chat. My brother's in the chat. The Bearded Veteran is here. I wanted to say hey to the Garbage Monster. Sal is in the chat. He says, hello, everyone. Adam is great people. And I wanted to say hey to the Garbage Monster. And I don't know if I'm saying your name. I Flip Junk is here. Says hello. Dumpster Diver Dad is here in the chat. Drew from Profit Monsters is here hanging out with us. Death Pile Destroyers and Matt Resells. So we have a question here from Sal. He says, are you enjoying not doing so much clothing anymore?
Actually, yeah, I am. And the reason is because it was I think hanging the clothes and cleaning the clothes, accidentally finding that hole that you didn't see when you were in the store, or that stain that you didn't see in the store because the lighting just wasn't right in the store. And then you lose money on that because it's just junk now, right? I really have enjoyed stepping away from the clothing and moving towards electronics because electronics are honestly, my brain works that way. I got a degree in IT, software programming, and if it doesn't work, I like opening it up and trying to figure out what part's broken and fixing it if I can. There was an easy fix on a VCR I had where the door on the VCR the flap wouldn't open and let the tape eject. And that was the only thing that was wrong with it. And so I broke it open. I took the top off and I started looking inside of it, and come to find out it was just one little hair piece of plastic that was underneath the flap, just wasn't lifting it high enough soon enough. So fixing it with just a little piece of 3M foam right behind the door that no one's going to see is even there, fixed it. Boom, the end. And just, I like doing things like that, trying to make things work that are once broken and making them good again. I enjoy doing that a lot more than I do hanging clothing and selling it for 12, 13 bucks net profit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, Adam, talk to me. What are some hot items that you've been selling lately? I know you said you sell electronics. Is there certain niches or anything in particular that we should be on the lookout for that are hot selling items for you right now? And also, what are some of the places that you enjoy going sourcing at? Like when you have free time, do you enjoy hitting up yard sales, thrift stores, like Goodwill, pawn shops? Talk to us kind of some of the places that you go look for as far as sourcing, and what are some hot items that are selling for you right now?
During my lunch break, during my lunch break, I enjoy going to my local thrift stores more so than I do Goodwill, because a lot of people will realize that Goodwill is really starting to catch on to what's going on, and their prices are starting to really go up in a lot of categories. I see some places put prices on Facebook like $40 on a pair of tennis shoes that'll sell on eBay for $40, that type of stuff. So that's really getting annoying. I think Goodwill's really starting to catch on to that, but I don't think your local thrift stores are really starting to catch on to that. Right. I really enjoy picking up VCRs, just regular VCRs, DVD VCR combo units, DVD VCR recording combo units, DVD recorders. Blu-ray type home theater systems I've had some bad experiences with because I can't test every function of them. They bring in good money, but there's been 2 or 3 that have come back to me because a function that I didn't test because it was beyond just playing a Blu-ray, so I've kind of gotten bid on that a couple of times. So I've kind of backed off on those type of things. Receivers, I don't really have everything I need to test, like tuners and receivers, so I've stepped back on those. Although they are good money, I don't have what it takes to officially put my stamp of approval on it, and feel comfortable that I'm not going to get a return because something wasn't thoroughly tested. So right. Those are the items I've been selling recently. So you see this box back here, this Home Depot box. That was a sale I made last night after we got done talking, and that is I dare use the word collectible because I can't think of anybody who wants to collect microwaves, but it's supposed to be a rare collectible Hello Kitty microwave from 2002. If you look on eBay, there's a lot on eBay from the 2011 year, and it's a completely different model, but there's none on there from the 2002 model.
Tell people how much you ended up selling it for. Like, tell them how much you sold it for, Adam.
So I paid $25 in the store, and it's a microwave. Easy test, right? It either heats stuff up or it doesn't, right? Right. So I listed it high for $325 plus shipping, not free shipping, but plus shipping. And it got like 5 watchers, but no offers. So I sent out offers on eBay to all the watchers for $300. And to be honest with you, when I got a counter offer back for $200, I was ecstatic, completely ecstatic, because I really did think it might not go for $300. I thought it would go somewhere between $200 and $250, to be very honest with you, because that's what the 2011 version was going for. So when somebody countered with $200 plus shipping, I immediately accepted it. I probably only thought about it for 5 seconds, Right. But, and I was so happy. Kudos to this buyer. He paid immediately. And as you all know on eBay, if you accept an offer from a buyer, they don't have to pay immediately, unfortunately, but this guy paid immediately. So I got it boxed up. It's ready to go out tomorrow. It's already got the shipping label, safely packaged up with lots of foam and bubble wrap, and it should make it to Las Vegas very safe.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know the item he's talking about, he took a picture of it and posted it on Instagram. So you can go check out his Instagram and it'll show you a photo of it. It was like a Hello Kitty microwave. I remember seeing it on Instagram, and you think he paid $25 for it and sold it for like $200 plus shipping, right?
Yep.
And it was a microwave. Like, who would have thought to resell a microwave, right? But you just happened to see it and then snatched it up, right? Like,
it was the Hello
me,
Kitty that stood out to me, to be very honest with you.
I'm telling you, dude, if I walked by and I saw that same microwave, I probably would have walked right by it because I did not want to box up and ship a big microwave. And plus, I would be like, who would want to buy this pink Hello Kitty microwave? But honestly, obviously, there are collectors out there and people that want it. So let's say hello to a few people here. I wanted to say hey to Julian, just stopped by from Bearded Thrift Machine is here. And we have Brett Wheeler, DC. I hope I pronounced your name. Says state your Instagram. His Instagram and YouTube links are in the description down below if you want to go follow him. I wanted to say hey to Secrets of Wanderlust Reselling. Says hey everybody, and I wanted to say hey to Mom's Closets Texas. She says great advice. And the ATL Flipper is here. He has a question for you. He wants to know, what is your biggest flip to date, Baldy Pal?
Biggest flip. I think the biggest flip was a brand new in the box Nintendo Wii that was given to me as a gift to flip from one of my coworkers. The story goes that he received it from his sister because his sister won it on a radio show back when they first came out, which was, I don't know, what was it, 2011 maybe? And he never used it because he doesn't play the Nintendo games. He likes the Sony games and stuff like that are kind of shoot 'em up type games. And so he had it in his closet and he never, ever opened it. The sticker was still sealed. And so I said, I'll give you some money for it. How much do you want for it? He goes, I don't want nothing for it. He said, I'm just happy that it's going to go to a good home and I'll get it out of my closet. So when I looked it up and I showed him, I said, this thing is actively selling for upwards of $550, $600. And I said, are you sure you don't want a portion of these proceeds? He was like, no, I'm just happy that you can get it to somebody who wants it. So I sold it $575, free shipping, and it flipped in a day. So that was probably my biggest flip ever because it was given to me for free. But I took some of those proceeds. I took $100, and since he didn't want the $100 that I offered him, I did it in a giveaway on my show, and that actually started a little bit of a chain reaction. But my favorite flip ever. It's not my biggest, but it's my favorite flip ever. I'm a golfer, and there's some golfers in here. I know Julian Bearded Thrift Machine's in here, and he plays golf. But I came across a Scotty Cameron putter in my Goodwill, and it was in a bag of clubs for just $10. So the bag, the rest of the clubs, the putter was all in there. And it was all priced together, but all I wanted was the putter, but they wouldn't sell me just the putter. So I took the whole thing for $10. I threw the putter and the rest of the irons away because they were I threw the bag and the rest of the irons away because they were crap. But the putter, after I did a lot of extensive research to make sure it wasn't fake, of course, because there's some fake Scotties out there, the putter pulled in $240 within 2 hours of listing it. That's plus awesome. Shipping. Sold to somebody in Canada, $240 plus shipping. Right? I mean, like within 2 hours of listing it. So that was probably my most fun flip ever. I wish I had kept it for a little while and used it, but I'm a short guy and it was a 36-inch putter, and that's a little long for me to use out there on the golf course. So I went ahead and flipped it anyway.
So Adam, I got a question for you. You're not expecting this. I don't tell them questions when we get on the show. So this is going to be a curveball. I want to know, who is your favorite guest that you've had on your YouTube channel so far? You can't say me because I wasn't a guest on your show. So who is your favorite guest that you've had? Maybe top 1 or 2 or 3, your number one favorite guest that you've had so far in your YouTube channel. You gotta let us know.
Oh man, that is a major curveball. I don't want to put anybody down on that one.
No, it's all good. Just
had a lot of names on the show.
I mean, you've had
have to really think back. I really did enjoy the conversation that I had with Drew profit monsters, because that conversation just went on. It was just really good conversation, and it went on for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And conversations, what I like a lot. I like stories to be told, and that one was a really good, lots of good stories and conversation. Oh gosh, you did put me on the spot on that one. You did, but no, Drew was a good conversation. Joey brought in a lot of guests because Joey, he's just his audience just is attracted to his
personality
and his personality, and he just brings the light to the room and the party to the table. You know what I mean? I had Casey on there. I learned a lot from Casey about golf. I mean, a lot about golf. I thought I knew a lot about golf, but no, I didn't. And then I had some people who had made the leap from part-time to full-time because they were forced into it, not because they had any choice, but COVID and how it damaged their jobs. They were literally pushed into full-time reselling. And you can learn a lot from somebody who's put in a position like that in their life, and they can choose it's fight or flight, sink or swim, and all of them found a way to swim and fly and take off. And those were really good conversations. You can learn a lot from people who are put in a position to, like I said, fight or flight. And they fought hard and they took off, and they're doing really well. They're in here. 2 of them are in here at least. Y'all go check it out. Y'all enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought for sure you were going to say Harry Tornado. So if you guys get a chance to check out some of his interviews and some of his shows, I have his YouTube channel and Instagram is linked down below. But yeah, he's had Drew. I was actually in the chat when you had Drew Profit Monsters on, and you had Carolina Thrifter, and you've had some of these Julian the Bearded Thrift Machine. You've had a lot of those guests on. I wanted to say hey to Ebliss Reseller Solutions. He says the elusive Scotty Cameron putter, the Holy Grail. So I wanted to say hey to Ebliss. I wanted to say hey to Casey, the Carolina Thrifter. Wanted to say hey to Sal. He says the answer is easy with me. That was the answer. And,
yes, Sal.
I wanted to say hey to.
Sal has a very interesting background with the work that he does, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, but he does a lot for his community and what he does in his job. Gary and I, hands down, he does a lot for people, and we appreciate you and people like that in this world, Sal. We do.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody in the community. I'd say probably 99% everybody in the community is friendly and welcoming, and they're there to give out tips and tricks and help you out along the way. I wanted to say hey to Death Pile Destroyers, and the Bargain Weasel is here. He has a quick question for you. He says, here's a question for your guest. Since you seem to enjoy repairing electronics, have you sold something that you didn't make a profit on just to keep it out of the scrap pile, or am I the only one?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I have. In fact, I have sold items that I had returned because the function I didn't test, because it's not one of those major functions that it's used for. It's just like a extra function. It came back, and I accepted the return, and I gave him his full money back. But I relisted that same item for more money. It disclosed the fact that it was tested and that part did not work, and it sold again for more money. So yeah, absolutely. I've got a Space Saver can opener that I took off the bottom shelf in the estate sale. Won't work because the motor will turn on, but it won't spin the mechanism. I'm going to sell that anyway for parts. It was only $3. Like you said, keep it out of your scrap pile. Maybe I'll make 25, 30 bucks off of it. I don't know, but I'm not going to get the 65 I thought I was going to get, but keep it out of your scrap pile. And then there's some that are just not worth even reselling for parts because the main function or the thing people would take the parts out of are broken and they don't work. And so I am going to, actually that video I was talking about earlier kind of involves those items that you can't even sell for parts. So what do you do with those things?
All right. So Adam, now before we let you go, you gotta drop some knowledge on this because you said you've been a reseller now for 7 years. So if someone is a part-time reseller and they want to go full-time, or someone just is part-time reseller and they want to grow or expand their business? Because you said you've been doing around $3,000 a month on average profit. What would be like 2 or 3 tips that you would give somebody where you would say, hey, here's my top 2 or 3 tips to help you grow and expand your business, to help you make more money and reselling? What would that be off the top of your head that you could think of?
The number one answer to that question is on eBay, list. Just consistently list. There is truth to the eBay algorithm. I'm going to use air quotes here, algorithm, that even if it's not an algorithm, there's truth to the fact that listing more gets you more sales. And I've tested that out over Thanksgiving last year. I didn't do any listing in November before Thanksgiving. Okay. 0. I did it on purpose because I was going to be off of work for a whole week. So that week I listed a lot of stuff, if you could imagine, building up for 3 weeks to it. And I had the biggest week of sales I ever had that week. So list, and you will get sales. Another tip, honestly, to getting more, what was it? Tips for getting more sales? No, for newcomers, right? For new resellers.
And growing your business. Go ahead.
To grow your business. Okay. So if you've figured out that one category that you're really good at, put aside, like, adventure out into a new category and be ready to fail. It's okay to fail. You learn from failure. That microwave, for example, that could have been a huge mistake, but it was only a $25 mistake. Be okay with making mistakes because you never know what may come of it. And that one may have turned out really well, but I've made other mistakes in the past. I paid $50 at an estate sale for a VCR that's supposed to resell for $150, but it's at the estate sale. You can't test it. I brought it home. Guess what? It don't work. Just straight up doesn't work. I'm thinking possibly I could take it to like a TV repair shop, but in my head, I'm like, I got to figure out, is it worth trying to pay somebody to repair it? And am I still going to make money off of it if it's repaired? I'm still toying with that idea, but I made a mistake by dropping $50 at an estate sale. I got to figure out how to get my way out of that hole. Make a mistake. It's okay. You learn from your mistakes. They become a learning tool for the future. So that would be my second tip, is be okay with making mistakes and failing a little bit.
Yep. All right, awesome. We have a question here in the chat real quick from Roto Wilder DC. Says, is there a fee to sell on eBay? eBay takes a fee. You want to talk about that?
About 13% of every sale you make. Yeah, absolutely. There's a fee to sell on eBay. And if you're new to eBay, I don't remember the number anymore, but I think you get so many listings that charge you nothing. But then once you exceed that limitation, it's 30 cents per listing. So there's absolutely fees to sell on eBay.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get I think the basic store now, they give you like 1,000 free listings, and it's like $21 a month, and they give you 1,000 free listings. So I would check that out, and then you get extra free listings that are in select categories. So I would just go in there and try it out and see. I mean, there's some items where they don't even charge you a fee just to list the item. So you can just go ahead and try it out and see if you like it or not. And once you start making money, when you wake up and you have $150 or $200 or $300 that's automatically of sales you had in your sleep, you'll get addicted to it. So for sure. So it's a great side hustle for junk removal people. Yeah, you can get stuff for junk for free, but there's also, like I said, if you look like online on Craigslist, like on a Saturday or right now, a Sunday afternoon, people have yard sales of stuff that's left over, of stuff that they don't sell. And you could go in the Craigslist section, check the free section, and there will be, 4 or 5 different people that had stuff left over from yard sales, of stuff that didn't sell. And they'll just put it out to the street curb and say, hey, here's my address. I'm at 8231, Walnut Street or whatever. You go there, you can load up the stuff and put it in your car, and anything that you want to sell, you can sell. The stuff you want to donate, you can donate. The stuff that's trash, you can just throw it in the trash. But I mean, I would just try it out and get started. I mean, I think, like, I talked to Rally Roots when I met them in person. They started their reselling business with $200. That was it. And last year in 2020, they made over $1 million last year through reselling and through YouTube. So, I mean, and they started with $200. They didn't start off with $10,000, $20,000. So just start off where you are. And then you know, you're going to figure it out as you go. Like Adam said, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because we all will make mistakes. So I wanted to say hey to Flippin' Eric. Says, I gave my card to people at yard sales to let them know whatever doesn't sell, I will remove it for them. Awesome. Says Garbage Monster says, I've been thinking about starting a junk removal business. That would be cool if you had a truck or a trailer. Secrets of Wanderlust Reselling says, this is why I love Facebook. Fees are so much lower. Also, you can sell
like
stuff
5% on
locally.
Facebook.
Yeah, I've sold stuff before, like on OfferUp. Like I had a DVD VHS combo player, and I didn't want to ship it on eBay, so I just took a picture of it and posted it on OfferUp. And I think I paid maybe $5 for it at the thrift store, and I sold it locally for $50 cash. The guy met me at this location. I handed him the VCR and DVD combo player. He handed me the $50. The whole transaction took 2 minutes out of my day, and I got cash right there on the spot. So, I mean, you can sell stuff locally as well. I wanted to say hey to Carter P. I wanted to say hey to Philly Flipper is in the house.
Yeah, man,
thanks for coming by and hanging out with us today. We have Bargain Weasel is here. He says, I'm glad I'm not the only one, and Flippin' Eric. So tell everybody, Baldypal, where they can check you out on YouTube and Instagram. All your links are down below, but let them know where they can go by and check you out at.
It's Baldypal Picking. Baldypal Picking on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. If I could, I thought of one more tip, and I don't do a lot of auctions, but this lady who I was helping get started, she was asking me, should I do auction? Should I do buy it now? Should I do auction? She's just asking me a lot, that one question. So it caused me to think about, how do I choose the difference between buy it now and auctions, right? And what it boils down to is, if I find a product, let's say a pair of Nike Jordans, right? If I find that they're selling actively on auction with multiple bidders, then I would seriously consider an auction. But if I'm finding that it's selling on, when it sells on an auction, there's only one, maybe two bidders, I would not consider an auction at all for that item. And I take that to whatever item it may be, even if it's something I have no idea what the value truly is. Let's say this microwave, for instance. If I had put that on an auction, I wouldn't have gotten anywhere close to the deal that I got, because there's hardly anybody out there actually looking for a collectible Hello Kitty microwave, right? I'm not sure what the value is, but I know an auction's not going to get me anywhere close to what I think it should be. So that's how I determine auction versus buy it now. I look at the history of the auctions of a product versus the buy it now history of the same product. And if there's multiple bidders in an auction, I think you're safe with an auction personally. But if it's only one or two people bidding on the items, I would stay away from an auction for that particular item.
Okay, cool. I wanted to give a shout out real quick to Buffalo Picker. He says, hey, Jeff and Adam, Baldypal Picking. So, hey, Buffalo Picker, thank you for coming by and hanging out. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out Tommy's channel, Buffalo Picker, he has a YouTube channel as well. I just want to let you guys know they just did a show on Friday night. So, hey, so Baldypal, we appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your day to hang out with me today. I have all his links for YouTube and Instagram down below. Go ahead and follow him. Give him a subscribe and check him out. You can tell him that Jeff sent you. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts, and we'll let you go. We've had you on the show for about an hour.
No, it's all good. I seriously appreciate all the support of those who have chosen to subscribe to my channel. It makes me appreciate the fact that people are out there actually wanting to watch the content that I put out there. And so I'm going to keep making it for you, hands down. I'm going to throw out at least 2 videos a week and that live show for you. So hopefully you won't be let down if you do choose to subscribe. And I do appreciate that.
All right, man. Hey, thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with me today. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week on Tuesday. I have Flippy McFlipperson will be on Tuesday. So I'll see you guys then. I'll see you then. So you guys have a great weekend. Till then. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good evening.